Take it away. So right now, ang ating speaker for tonight is a graduate of BS History from the De La Salle University and our Chief Operations Officer. And he's also the president of our Rotary Club. Siya rin yung ating researcher sa ating company. No po? So, none other than Sir Brian. Ikaw, take it away, Sir Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Ma'am Sari, for that wonderful prayer and also for that warm introduction. So, good evening, everyone. I am Brian Ico. I'm the Chief Operation Officer of Honors Global Corp. So, honors is a Latin word for honor, and the goal of our company is to uphold their honor. Paano ba namin yan magagawa? By making sure we deliver effective products, mga produkto makakatulong talaga sa mga kapwa natin Pilipino. And this is our office located in Madison Gallery, Sinalabang Hills in Muntinlupa. And we're happy because we're transferring into a bigger and better office. It's going to be at the Parkway Corporate Center, still in Alabang, Muntinlupa. And we are the exclusive distributor of HGC, Glutathione Immune Enhancer, with ProImmune, which is manufactured in Layton, Utah by UST Corp. What you will see here, this is a 1-hectare facility that UST Corp owns, and they have 3 facilities of this size, making them one of the leading manufacturer of nutritional supplements in the United States. In fact, UST Corp has their own in-house laboratory, which checks all the ingredients that comes into the product and at the same time checks the products as it goes to its final production. So, chine-check nila kung pure ba talaga yung mga ingredients na nakukuha nila. And at the same time, if the products that were made follow or conform to the formulations of the company. And so that's what makes them really one of the leading contract manufacturer of dietary supplements. UST Corp is an NSF certified facility. So NSF stands for the National Sanitation Foundation. This means all the products they make are safe for human consumption. At the same time, it's certified organic by the Certification for Good Manufacturing Practice. Ibig sabihin naman ito, sa lahat ng produktong ginagawa nila, they only use organic and natural ingredients. Hindi sila gumagamit ng any banned or illegal substance sa mga produktong ginagawa nila. UST Corp is also halal and kosher certified facility. So yung mga produktong ginagawa nila, pwedeng gamitin ng mga Muslims and ng mga Jews. And of course, it's FDA registered facility. So they follow the strict compliance required by the US government. And so what is our product? Our product is HGC Glutathione Immune Enhancer. And what it does, it enhances the natural glutathione inside our body. And because of this, our immune system is also enhanced. How? It's better regulated and modulated. And ang tanong ng marami, and ang alam kasi ng mga tao pagdating sa glutathione, di ba ang glutathione pampaputi, pampaganda, pampagwapo? But like I said, it's beyond that. If you enhance your glutathione, you're enhancing also your immune system because one of its primary roles is a master antioxidant. So alam naman natin, yung antioxidants, ang kina-counteract niyan is the free radicals or the oxidants. And these free radicals have the ability to destroy the cells, and that includes our immune cells. And so if you have glutathione in your body, you're able to protect not only your cells, but everything else, including your immune cells. And the problem is, kapag tumatanda tayo, once we hit the age of 20, our glutathione levels decline at the rate of about 1% every year. So this means when you're 30 years old, more or less your glutathione production is already at 90%. If you're 40, it's at 80%. And if you're 50 years old, more or less 70%. Kaya mapapansin niyo yung mga taong umedit ng 50, dito na sila nagsisimulang manghina, magkasakit, mag-take ng maintenance medicine. It is because they're not anymore at their peak health. And one of the biomarkers of our health is our glutathione levels. And there are 2 reasons ba't bumaba ang glutathione natin, internally and externally. So internally, ito yung nangyayari sa loob ng katawan natin. What you will see here is a depiction of our cells being attacked by free radicals. So ang nangyayari kasi, di ba, kanina the premise is, as you age, your glutathione levels decline. So this means your antioxidant defense system also declines. And what's gonna happen is hindi lahat ng free radicals maki-quench or mani-neutralize ng antioxidants. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna be attacking the cells. And yung cells natin, madadamage yung DNA niyan, madadamage yung cell wall niyan, and it needs repair. And incidentally, glutathione is responsible in not only neutralizing, quenching, or scavenging free radicals, it's also responsible in the repair of the cells. And that's the reason why mas lalo pang kukonti ang glutathione natin kasi aside from its antioxidant defense ability or role, it's another role of it is to ensure that all that free radical damage is repaired or restored. It recycles other antioxidants, specifically vitamin C and E, and lastly helps maintain our immune system. So every time a person gets sick, if you bring them to the hospital, chine-check agad yung blood nila. And they look at the WBC count. Why? That's very important to ensure if our immune system is working. All right. And so our WBC, our immune cells, they're all dependent on glutathione for it to have cell division and for it to be protected. Then yung next reason naman is what we get from our environment, yung external factors. So number one is smoking. A single cigarette contains 7,000 chemicals. 69 are carcinogenic. When you say carcinogenic, these are cancer-producing substance. Kaya kapag nakalanghap ka ng usok ng sigarilyo, bababa yung glutathione mo kasi glutathione detoxifies carcinogens. And that includes also the toxins in medicines. Yung mga gamot natin may toxin yan, which is tolerable by our body. But kapag matagal mo na siyang ginagamit, long-term use or long-term abuse, ibig sabihin mahilig kang uminom ng gamot, then itong mga toxins na to, nagko-compound siya sa katawan natin, resulting into our glutathione levels declining. Why is that? Kasi aside from carcinogens, glutathione is responsible in all the detoxification process. So that includes toxins, chemicals, compounds, and even xenobiotics. So anything that's foreign in our body. The next is alcohol. Alcohol is known to damage our liver, and sa liver natin pinuproduce and ini-store ang glutathione. It's one of the main organs that produces and uses a lot of glutathione. Kasi ang liver natin, it's also the organ responsible in detoxifying our body. Kaya kapag umiinom ka ng alak, yan, bababa rin yung glutathione levels natin. Next is lack of sleep. Glutathione has a half-life of 36 hours. Ibig sabihin ito, every 1.5 days, nagre-replenish tayo ng glutathione. And it happens during our sleep. So kapag hindi ka nakakatulog na sa tamang oras and at the same time, the required number of hours for you to have a quality sleep, then your glutathione levels are not replenished. Next is industrial pollutants. Usually they contain heavy metals like arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury. And these things, kapag na-absorb yan ng katawan natin, lowers our glutathione levels because glutathione conjugates with heavy metal. So ang ginagawa ng glutathione, magbabind yan sa heavy metal para mailabas siya sa cells, mailabas siya sa mga organs natin. And lastly, processed food. Pagkain natin ngayon, puro instant. From instant coffee, instant juices, instant noodles, fast food. Lahat yan may additives and preservatives na kapag nakain natin, also lowers our glutathione kasi yung mga yan, nagiging free radicals. And this is what free radicals look like inside their body. What you will see here is 4 pictures of our cells. The uppermost pictures are healthy blood cells, and the lowermost pictures are the same blood cells after being exposed to free radicals. May kita nyo nasa lower left portion, from circular, naging irregularly shaped ng cells. Ang tawag dyan, cell differentiation. And 2 things can happen when there's cell differentiation. Either the cell dies or the cell mutates. Kapag nag-mutate yan, there is a possibility of it becoming a carcinoma or sarcoma, or ibig sabihin, pwede siya maging cancer cell. And kapag tinignan nyo naman, yung nasa lower right portion, yung mga white areas, those were basically pula sila dati. Kapag white na yan, ibig sabihin yung cells namatay. And when there's cellular damage, it will lead to tissue damage. Ibig sabihin, wala na sa cells natin, nasa laman na natin. And tissue damage eventually lead to organ damage. Kasi nga yung free radicals are unstable and highly reactive molecules. Yesterday, I was discussing about how important glutathione is. And glutathione is being compared to like a naughty child, makulit na bata. So yung makulit na bata, if you put that makulit na bata inside the room na maraming fragile, mga babasagin, after a few minutes or a few hours, meron siyang masisira, meron siyang mababasag. And in order for us to be able to prevent that from happening, what you can do is you can give the kid a distraction like pagkain, laruan, or you can take that kid out of the room. And that's what glutathione does. It takes out that naughty kid, yung makulit na bata, outside of the room where there's a lot of fragile things or important things. And so free radicals, they've seen that it's present in all diseases. And not only free radicals, also low glutathione. Kasi nga, yung free radicals, mataas talaga yan kapag mababa yung glutathione ng katawan. So it goes hand in hand. That's why they were able to observe that correlation. So I will not mention all 100 diseases. I'm just going to highlight what's very common, like Alzheimer's, angina, arthritis, asthma, bronchitis, all forms of cancer, diabetes, emphysema, hypertension because of high blood cholesterol, sclerosis, obesity, Parkinson's, stroke. What you will notice to all these diseases that I have just mentioned, they're very common with the elderly or with the aging population. That's why the correlation is um, elderly people have low glutathione, have high free radicals, and they may have diseases. And it's not a causality effect, pero it's a presence na kapag ang tao ay may sakit, given yan, mababa glutathione yan, and mataas ang free radicals yan. And so what is really glutathione aside from the master antioxidant that it is? It's found and produced in every cell of the human body. You know, the average cells of a human body is around 37 trillion cells. Every cell uses glutathione. And most of it also produces it. Kasi nga, ang ginagawa ng glutathione, its primary role as an antioxidant is protecting it inside and out. Kasi yung free radicals are produced inside of our cells and outside of our cells. It's made of three amino acids, cysteine, glycine, and glutamic acid. And to just bring more importance to glutathione, it's one of the few substances that's not only found in humans, it's found in all animals, plants, and even single-cell organisms like bacteria. And what are the experts saying about glutathione? Ito, gusto ko, is one of the pioneers when it comes to glutathione nutrition. So he's one of the early doctors who discovered how to increase glutathione inside the body. And the technology that he uses is on whey protein. So according to Dr. Gustavo Bonus of Canada, glutathione is the most important antioxidant because it's within the cell. Marami kasing antioxidants like vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin E. But he has placed glutathione above all of these things kasi nga nasa loob siya ng cells natin. And our cells are defined as the basic unit of our human life. And so if you will ensure that every cell in our body has adequate amounts of glutathione, then we're going to have a healthier body. And the good news is our product, HGC Glutathione Immune Enhancer, can increase your cellular glutathione levels by 135% after 1 month of consistent daily use. And for us, we're not using what Gustavo Bonus is using kasi he uses whey protein. And the most advanced way of nutrition when it comes to glutathione is with ProImmune. And what's inside ProImmune? There's glycine, glutamine, and cysteine. So glycine, glutamine, and cysteine, these are the three amino acids that we need. Kanina nabanggit ko, it's glycine, glutamic acid, and cysteine. So we have glycine. Glutamine is a derivative of glutamic acid. It means it's one step being converted from glutamic acid. Then cysteine naman, it's also the same, one step process away. And cysteine are two molecules of cysteine bonded by sulfur. So if you supplement with cysteine, you have twice the chance of producing glutathione. Why is that? Kasi out of these three amino acid, cysteine is what they call the rate limiting factor. Ibig sabihin ito yung kailangan talaga para magpag-produce ng glutathione. That's why cysteine, if you look at it chemically, the chemical symbol of glutathione, cysteine yung nasa gitna. Then at the same time, our product has selenium, an essential trace mineral that helps glutathione function, silymarin, a herb that protects the liver, and alpha lipoic acid, a fatty acid, and a potent antioxidant that helps recycle glutathione. So ito yung mga ingredients ng produkto namin. And ProImmune, which is the active formula for our product, has 3 composition patents to back it up. Ano ba ginagawa ng patent? There are 2 things that it can actually do. Number 1 is to protect the formula or the product from being copied para hindi siya pwede gayahin, and at the same time to show results. And this is the reason why Pfizer became one of the largest pharmaceutical company, not only in the United States, but in the whole world. Kasi nga, most of their products are patented. And one example is Viagra. That's why yung Viagra, sila lang ang meron nun. And that's what a patent does. It shows effectivity and protection. And for you to have a patent, kailangan meron kang clinical studies. And we're very proud because our clinical studies are both in vitro and in vivo. Ibig sabihin, tinesto sa cells, tinesto sa hayop, tinest din sa tao. In our latest clinical trial that's being conducted right now is a clinical trial on COVID-19, which is due to be completed by 2025. And they're already at, if I'm not mistaken, they're beyond phase 2 of their clinical trials. And alam nyo kasi, ang clinical trial, hindi yan basta-basta ginagawa if they don't see potential because a clinical trial is expensive. A single clinical trial with just a few participants could set you back to as much as $20,000. And that is why for ProImmune, they were granted 87.5 million US dollars to further study ProImmune. And that's the reason why ProImmune has patents. Binigyan siya ng pera ng gobyerno ng Amerika para pag-aralan. And governments don't do this if they don't see potential and they don't see preclinical trials and also initial clinical trials as well. And so if you take our product, it will increase your glutathione levels. And increased glutathione levels can and may, number one, raise your energy. And how does glutathione raise your energy? Yung energy kasi natin, it's produced in the mitochondria. If you would remember your biology class, it's the powerhouse of the cell. And so if you have cells dying, which happens when you get old, bababa yung nagpo-produce ng energy. And what glutathione does is not only to protect the cells, it also stimulates the cell so that it can enter cell division. So yun yung tinatawag na stem cell. And so kapag nag-cell division yan, then you will have more cells producing energy. And that's what glutathione does, aside from just being an antioxidant. The next is it supports performance and recovery. How does it do that? Kasi yung performance and recovery is dependent on your energy production. That's why if you look at kids, yung mga bata, kaya nila maging physically active ng umaga, tanghali, hapon, gabi without having a need for a rest. And they can do that for the next number of days. They can do it from, let's say, they're 3 years old hanggang sa they reach their teens. And that is because their energy is still very high, and that is also because their glutathione levels are still very high. So yung performance and recovery, yung vigor natin, bumabalik yan if mataas ang glutathione levels natin. It helps detoxify our body. Kanina nga, nabanggit ko, glutathione is involved in all detoxification process. Kasi as a compound, once it's inside our body, glutathione is very sticky. And so lahat talaga ng dumi ng katawan natin, dumidikit dyan. Kaya mailalabas yan ng katawan natin. That's also one of the reasons why it's involved in all detoxification process. Yung sulfur kasi, they're very sticky. Next is it fights inflammation. So yung inflammation, ito yung mga pamamaga and pain sa katawan natin. It's also one of the causes of the number one death, which is heart disease. Okay, inflammation din yan, ang triggers dyan. And they found out that glutathione is not only able to reduce inflammation itself, but pro-inflammatory molecules, yung nagiging sanhi, baka nagkakaroon ng inflammation. It enhances our immune system, so hindi tayo nagiging sakitin kasi nga glutathione has the ability to modulate our immune system. What does it mean? It means it primes our immune cells. Okay, nagiging active yung immune cells natin if needed. And not just being active, it's also better modulated and regulated. Ibig sabihin, matalino rin yung immune cells natin. So you lessen the risk of cytokine storm, which is inflammation. And lastly, slows down aging. And if we're able to slow down aging, we're able to slow down the diseases associated with it. Yung mga tao kapag nagkakasakit, even doctors would say this, kaya mataas na yung cholesterol niyan, kaya mataas na yung blood sugar niyan, kasi matanda na siya. And that is very true because the older that you are, the more that you have been exposed to different environmental pollutants, different lifestyle, including food that could lead to lifestyle diseases. And it's part of aging. Kapag mas matanda ka dyan, mas marami kang exposure dyan. And what they found out is glutathione is able to reduce all those free radical damage that we get from our lifestyle, that we get from our environment. So if we do that, then yung pagtanda at yung pagkakasakit, napapabagal natin. Okay? And so we need to take care of our body. It's the only place you have to live in. Isa lang yung katawan natin. And the best way that we can take care of it, and I'll also borrow from what Dr. Mark Hyman said, if you want to stay healthy, if you want to prevent diseases, you need to have glutathione. And ProImmune can ensure that we have adequate amounts of glutathione. And thank you very much for attending our presentation, and take your HGC every day.
Yan. Thank you so much, our COO, Sir Brian Ico. So, the floor is now open po. Our dear partners, kung meron po kayong mga tanong, hello po sa inyo, Ma'am Melly. Ma'am Maria Fe, hello po. Sir Mike.
Mga questions ba tayo? Sabi nga, wala akong tanong.
Meron akong tanong, yung sa ano, sa high blood. Pag high blood po. At
Okay, hypertension. So, anong may tutulong ng glutathione pagdating sa hypertension? Well, usually kasi yung hypertension, nakita rin nila na it's associated with disturbances in glutathione metabolism. So what does it mean na meron disturbances in glutathione metabolism? So if we will go back to my previous discussion, and this is really on glutathione redox cycle. I always show this, and dyan kasi nagkakaroon ng problema. So, if you look at this cycle, ito yung life cycle ng glutathione. Ito yung how it functions inside our body and how it exists inside our body. So, when you take glutathione precursors, anong nangyayari dyan? Napoproduce yung reduced glutathione. And that's why they've used reduced glutathione in so many glutathione supplements. Kasi nga, I wouldn't say tricking, pero they're representing na yung product na yan. Kapag ininom mo, you will have reduced glutathione. But reduced glutathione is only produced inside our body. Okay? And para ma-produce yan, kailangan mo ng precursors. So, this is the cycle of glutathione. And what they found out is people who have hypertension have, and this is the specific term, disturbances in their glutathione cycle. So, this particular ratio, dapat ng katawan natin, ang reduced glutathione natin is 90%, yung oxidized glutathione natin is 10%. So, yung reduced glutathione, yan yung active form. Yung oxidized glutathione, GSSG, or glutathione disulfide, that's an inactive form. So, ibig sabihin, wala siyang function kapag oxidized siya. And what our body does, it recycles this. Nare-recycle yan through NADPH. And yung NADPH na yan, it needs riboflavin. And yung riboflavin kasi, yan yung building block ng glutathione reductase. Okay, so that's the enzyme that will convert your inactive glutathione to active glutathione. Now, nakita nila kasi is mataas yung glutathione peroxidase expression. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Mataas yung gamit nitong peroxidase. So, nangyayari, itong mga reduced glutathione natin na dapat 90%, kapag ang tao may hypertension, it can go to as low as 50%. And the worst case scenario, kapag meron ng heart disease yung isang tao, it goes down to as much as 10%. So 10% lang yung active mo, then 90% yung inactive mo. So what is the result of that? Tataas ang free radical sa katawan natin. Kapag tumaas yung free radical sa katawan natin, it can progress the disease. That's why you will notice, yung mga taong high blood, nung una may high blood lang sila, maya-maya meron na silang atherosclerosis. After so many years of having that, meron na silang atherosclerosis, or let's say meron na rin silang chronic kidney disease, or marami na silang other than hardening of the arteries, kailangan na rin silang i-bypass. Okay, so or angioplasty. So it comes to the point na they just don't have the condition. They need to undergo a procedure to manage the condition. So yun yung what they've noticed na masyadong mataas na yung gamit ng glutathione sa katawan. So that's what they mean with disturbances. And yun nga, ang correlation nga is kapag may hypertension ka, may problema na rin yung glutathione metabolism ng isang tao. Okay, so here in this study, I'll share screen ko din kung saan nanggaling din yung sinasabi ko. So this is a study on glutathione-related antioxidant defense system in elderly patients treated for hypertension. So this is a medical journal published by the Cardiovascular Toxicology. Okay, so here, sinabi rin dito, the erythrocyte metabolism of glutathione is essential not only for redox balance, but also nitric oxide bioavailability in erythrocytes. So, yung nitric oxide, yan yung nagpapa-flexible. Yan yung nakakatulong sa vasodilation ng ugat natin. Kasi yung ugat natin, it's a blood vessel, pero some people, they compare it sa parang water pipes. Now, yung water pipes kasi hindi yan flexible, and that's why it can maintain a certain pressure. Okay, but yung sa atin kasi, flexible yung blood vessels natin. Pero kapag hindi yan naging flexible, pag yan medyo tumigas, that's the time that the blood pressure really spikes. Just like yung pipings ng tubig. Kaya yan fixed, hindi yan flexible, hindi siya parang hose, para, ano talaga siya, pipe talaga matigas. Whether PVC yan or metal yan. Kasi para yung pressure mataas din. Okay, so that's what they've seen na kapag mababa yung glutathione, hindi makakapag-produce ng nitric oxide. Pag hindi nakapag-produce ng nitric oxide yung katawan natin, magiging matigas yung mga ugat natin. And that's uh, the gist of this particular study. So malaki talaga may tutulong ng product natin and glutathione, increasing glutathione when it comes to hypertension, kasi it could help uh, lessen that free radical damage in our blood vessels. And not only that, kasi glutathione helps with metabolism of cholesterol. Ang problema kasi, kaya yung sa tao, hindi tumitigas ang veins natin eh. Ang tumitigas sa atin yung arteries. Kasi yung arteries natin, it's peculiar in design ng arteries natin in which pwedeng magkaroon ng calcium deposits, pwede rin magkaroon ng cholesterol deposits, and that's the result of having a plaque. Ngayon, iba naman to, hindi ito yung pagtitigas ng ugat, pero ito yung pagkakaroon ng bara sa ugat. And kapag nagkaroon din ng bara sa ugat, tataas din yung blood pressure. So that's hypertension. And kapag nangyari yung dalawang scenario in which meron ka ng plaque at matigas yung ugat, yan talaga yung nagkakaroon ng rupture. Kaya nagkakaroon ng myocardial infarction or ischemic stroke ang isang tao. So what glutathione can do is lessen the risk of having a plaque because of better cholesterol metabolism, and at the same time to have that nitric oxide bioavailability, making our blood vessels flexible. Which is yun yung mga bagay kasi na kailangan natin, and yun din yung mga bagay na meron ng mga bata. Kaya you'd find it is rare to hear or see people having stroke in their 30s or in their 20s. Kasi yung mga yun, maano pa eh, bata pa yung ugat. And yun yung pwedeng gawin ng glutathione, yung pabatain. That's why glutathione has been dubbed as an anti-aging compound, an anti-aging product. Kasi nga, it can really restore damages in our cells and restore our cells. So I hope that answers your question, Ma'am Sally.
Thank you so much, Sir Brian. Ayan, meron pa po ba kayong tanong?
Meron ba tayo? Kahit 9 lang tayo, baka meron kayong mga questions dyan. And we'll do our best to answer them. Kung wala naman, it's already 8 o'clock. So that's also our cue to adjourn our session. Meron pa bang questions? Wala na pahabol?
Sir Brian, meron akong kasi every time na nag-stiff yung dito, yung sa muscle ko dito actually, nag-stiff siya. Lagi frozen shoulder. Araw-araw po talaga. Tapos, pag nagpapahilot ako dun sa anak ko before, meron siyang kasing laki ng jawline na matigas. So, I thought it's buto. Pero ngayon, every time na kakapain ko siya, malambot na siya. Ayoko naman siya ipa-check up, Sir Brian. Pero most likely parang...
check up yan para malaman natin what it is.
Pero lumambot siya. Not like kung matigas na matigas po talaga.
Well, marami kasing reasons why a person would have nodules in our back. Iba-iba yung, even before, lagi nila sinasabi, meron ka lang lamig. And somehow, those things are true. Nagkakaroon tayo ng pockets of air in our body. And lately, there's a study saying that it's because of free radicals as well. So yung oxygen kasi talaga sa katawan ng isang tao, it's a double-edged sword. It's the one that keeps us alive, but it's the one that's causing rusting in our body. Okay, so yun yung pwede kasing ganun siya. Although I don't want to speculate. So I think it's best na mapatingin natin para alam, kasi kapag nalaman kagad natin, some people are scared of going to a doctor. Pero kasi if you feel something and you're able to impart it, especially to a medical practitioner, nagkakaroon kagad ng early intervention. Yun yung ano yun yung minsan problema ng ibang tao, yung pag yung takot na sila magpatingin, tapos magpatingin naman sila, takot din sila magsabi ng talagang nararamdaman nila. And that's why some people get uh, wrong diagnosis. And kapag syempre, pag wrong ang diagnosis dyan, magiging mali rin yung prognosis, magiging mali rin yung treatments kasi mali rin yung pathology ng disease. So it's very important that we keep that transparency so that doctors could really address it. Yung like some people, masakit na yung nararamdaman nila, but in front of a doctor, sabihin nila hindi raw masakit. And syempre, kapag hindi yan sinabi mo sa isang doktor na hindi yan masakit, hindi niya kaagad yan bibigyan ng agarang lunas. Okay, so kasi isipin niya, ay, hindi ka naman masyadong masakit. Eh pala, uh, malala na pala talaga. So yung muscle pains, yung cramps, yung frozen shoulder, there ano there are a lot of things that can go with it. So, pero if it's nag-i-improve yan, it can really be attributed to the product. Kasi yung I'm looking at a study here. And nakita nila with this is in Japan. Nakita nila na yung frozen shoulder also has connections with pathogenesis of protein, and that includes glutathione. Pero this is a very small study. And so wala masyadong conclusions that can be derived. Pero yun nga, it has something to do with protein metabolism. And syempre pag sinabi mo protein metabolism, pasok din doon yung glutathione. Kasi it's one of those amino acids that helps regulate protein in our body. Yan. So, pa-check mo na yan, Ma'am Sari.
Medyo 80% pa ako, Sir Brian. Natatakot talaga ako. Pero hopefully, sige, papacheck up pa din.
Oh.
Thank you.
Ano naman lamang ka na kagad kasi marami nagpapacheck up dyan, hindi nagtitake ng HGC. So, just think of it that way na kapag nagpatingin ka, the doctors recommend something, lamang ka na kagad. Let's say they prescribe medicines for you, or let's say a certain procedure. Lamang ka na kasi nag-HGC ka. So I think that should boost your confidence in if there is, diba? Hopefully wala naman. So I think that's my 2 cents.
Matutunaw na yun sa HGC. Yeah, thank you so much, Sir Brian. So, meron pa po bang mga tanong?
And kung wala questions, adjourn na natin yung session natin for tonight. Thank you everyone who attended. We're currently, bigla tayo naging 10 strong. So, maraming salamat sa pag-attend nyo. Alam nyo, we do this every week, Mondays to Fridays, and we do this not just for the partners of HGC. We also do this for our prospective customers kasi the goal of our company is to really help people get better health. We have 3 goals: better health, richer life, and significance to others. And kapag meron tayo natutulungan na kapwa natin Pilipino na gumanda ang kanilang kondisyon, gumanda ang kanilang kalusugan, automatic we get that significance, and we also have a richer life. So let's continue to support these product sessions that we do, and if you can bring guests, much better. So maraming salamat. Thank you very much, Ma'am Sari, not only for moderating our session tonight, but also for the questions that you've made. Okay, so thank you very much, and continue taking your HGC every day.
Thank you so much, everyone. Sir Nani, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Brian.
Thank you, Ma'am
Thank you, Ma'am Sari.